Hey guys, welcome back. So I just got done ordering some oil and fluid for my upcoming 6-month preventative maintenance on both of my Panther cars. And I remember a while back I got a request to make a video on Ford's fluid specification recommendation for our Panther cars. So I thought I would take this opportunity. So this video will apply to all Panther cars from 1998 to 2011. Crown Vic Grand Marquis Town Car Marauder P71 P7B. And first I'd like to thank everyone for voting and leaving good feedback comments on the recent community polls. So this video will not cover specific brands of fluids or capacities or change intervals. It will only cover Ford Motor Company's fluid specification recommendations. Basically, I'm just going to read the owner's manual to you. And I guarantee you it's about to get real boring real quick, so whatever you do, don't watch this whole video. And I've installed timestamp chapters at the bottom of your screen, so just skip around to find any information you may be looking for. So the first poll result I'd like to read is, it says, what model year is your Panther car? And the overwhelming majority of 97% said 1998 to 2011, and only 7 people said 92 to 97. And then I wanted to know, what model is your Panther car? And 16% said Crown Victoria Civilian, 32% said Grand Marquis, 11% said Town Car, 5% said Marauder, and 36% said P71 P7B Fleet. Okay, so this poll says, what viscosity do you prefer in your 4.6 liter Panther car? And 63% said 520, 26% said 530, 9 people said 1030, 7 people said 1040, and 9 people said 2050. And going back to the 1998 model year, Ford's recommendation was 5W30. And skipping ahead, in 2002, Ford released a Technical Service Bulletin 02-1-9, and it says, issue, Ford Motor Company now recommends 5W20 viscosity. Action, all 01 and 02 vehicles where 520 is specified should be serviced with that at the oil change interval. This is an improved formulation to improve fuel economy. And it goes on to say, testing has validated this viscosity grade can be used in many previous model year vehicles. It is recommended that all vehicles on the following vehicle application listing be serviced with 520. And it goes back to 92 to 02 Crown Vic, 91 to 02 Town Car, and 92 to 02 Grand Marquis. And this poll says, what transmission fluid do you prefer in your Panther car? And 56% said Mercon V, 35% said Mercon LV, and 10% said Universal ATF. And starting in 1998, Ford's recommendation was Mercon V. And in 2009, they updated the recommendation to Mercon LV with a footnote of number 4. And that footnote says, use of any fluid other than the recommended fluid may cause transmission damage. So I really like this handy dandy color coded chart, and it goes from 1999 to 2018, and these are our two transmissions, the 4R70 and the 4R75. And from 1999 to 2008 it says V, and then from 2009 onward it says LV. And this is the product information sheet for Mercon V. It says, do not use in applications where Mercon LV is recommended. And this is the one for LV. It says, do not use in applications where Mercon V is recommended. And this is the the rest of the information sheet. This one is V. It says the viscosity index is 205, and for the LV the viscosity index is 155. So it looks like the V fluid is much thicker and the LV is much thinner. And this poll says, what differential fluid do you prefer in your Panther car? And 56% said 80-90, 44% said 75-140. And going back to the 1998, Ford's recommendation is a conventional 80-90 with a footnote, and it says you need to add the friction modifier for a limited slip or a traction lock axle. And it also says see your service guide for severe duty requirements. And this is what the friction additive looks like. So for severe duty schedule, there are 3 requirements for a new recommendation of 75-140 synthetic. The first operating condition is extended trailer towing. The second operating condition is wide throttle for extended periods above 45 miles per hour. And last, police and taxi vehicles. And how do you know if you have a limited slip or traction lock axle? Well, these are the Federal Motor Safety labels from my 04 Vic and 2010 Grand Marquis. And down here under axle code, it's a 58 for my 2010 and C8 for my 04. And I googled those, and both of those codes are identical, 273 open differentials. And what if you don't have this label? You can look at the tag on your differential underneath one of the bolts, and it'll have these numbers right here. And how you decode that is this number here is the gear ratio, and if this is left blank, it's an open differential, and if it's a limited slip, it'll have an L. This is the ring gear size, this is the date code, this is the plant code, model number, and revision identifier. And this number will also tell you how many splines your rear axles are. So mine is the 273 open diff 8.8 inch ring gear size, December 2003 on the 10th day. And there's the serial number. And this poll says, what coolant antifreeze do you prefer in your Panther car? And 39% said Universal Green Stuff, 51% said Motorcraft Premium Gold, 10% said Orange Dex Cool. And in 1998, the first half of the year was green, and the second half of the year was Orange Dex Cool. And there's a footnote on here. It says if your engine coolant is green, keep using the green. If it's orange, keep using the orange. And in 1999, they dropped support for the Orange Dex Cool, and it's only the green universal stuff. And there's a footnote on here. It says use the green stuff. Do not use the extended orange color stuff. So they've dropped the Dex Cool recommendation. And in 2003 was a transition year. The first half of the year, cars were getting factory filled with green, and the second half of the year they transitioned to this gold hybrid organic acid technology. And I found this handy dandy color coded chart here that goes from 1999 to 2011. And for Crown Vic, it's green, green, green up to 2002. The first half of 2003 was green, the second half of 2003 was yellow, gold, and then from 2004 onward is the premium gold. And for the town car, the Grand Marquis and Marauder, it's all identical. And what power steering fluid do you prefer in your Panther car? 5 people said Type F. The majority, 71%, said Mercon V, 7 people said Mercon LV, 3 people said Mercon ULV, and 19 people said universal power steering fluid stop leak. And going back to 1998, Ford's recommendation was Mercon ATF or just plain Mercon. And fast forwarding to the 2007 model year, they released this technical service bulletin 07-1-7, and it says issue Mercon is being replaced by Mercon V as a service fluid for power steering systems originally requiring Mercon. Action: beginning immediately, all power steering applications requiring Mercon can now be serviced using Mercon V. After 2007, Mercon will no longer be manufactured. And it says applications recommending type F must continue to use that fluid. Use of any other fluid may cause damage. And real quick, type F fluid was a transmission and power steering fluid on some Ford vehicles from 1970 to 1998. And Mercon LV is for use in power steering systems built after 2012. And Mercon ULV was made for the 10R80 transmission, and it says due to its ultra low viscosity, do not use in applications specifying Mercon V. And what brake fluid do you prefer in your Panther car? And 63% said .3, 29% said .4, 4 people said .5, and 6 people said .5.1. And going back to 1998, Ford's recommendation was .3, and it never changed all the way to 2011. Okay, what octane rating do you prefer in your Panther car? 80% said 87 octane, 7 people said 89 octane, 29 people said 91 octane. And going back to the model year 1998 for Crown Vic and Grand Marquis, it says your vehicle is designed to use regular unleaded gasoline with an octane rating of 87. And under fuel quality, it says if you are experiencing starting, rough idle, or hesitation drivability problems during a cold start, try a different brand of regular unleaded. Premium unleaded gasoline is not recommended, particularly in the United States, because it may cause these problems to become more pronounced. And in 1998 and 1999, those were experimental years for the Lincoln Town Car. It says your vehicle is designed to use regular unleaded with an octane rating of 87. And it goes on to say if there is a premium fuel recommended label in your fuel door area, your vehicle is designed to use premium gasoline with an octane rating of 91 or higher for optimum performance. Gasolines with lower octane ratings may be used, but performance and fuel economy may decrease. And in 2003 and 2004, the Marauder, your vehicle is designed to use premium unleaded gasoline with an octane rating of 91 or higher for optimum performance. The use of gasolines with lower octane ratings may degrade performance. And on the next page, I saw that the compression ratio is 10.1 to 1. So I went back to the 1998 to 1999 Lincoln Town Car manual, and sure enough, there was 2 engines offered for that car. One engine had a compression ratio of 9 to 1, and the other one had 10 to 1. And the footnotes here say that the 9 to 1 compression engine was sold in California, New York, Massachusetts, and Connecticut. And the engines with 10 to 1 compression were sold in all other states. Alright, E85. Using E85 in a Panther car is 18% said good, 42% said bad, and 41% said I don't know. So starting in 2006 to 2011, certain cars were FFV compliant. And it says your flexible fuel vehicle will operate well on ordinary regular gasoline, but only the highest quality fuel ethanol will provide the same level of protection and performance. If you operate your vehicle 50% or more of the time on ethanol, you should follow a different maintenance schedule. In addition to this, it is also recommended to fill the tank with regular gasoline once every 3,000 miles. So I wanted to know more about the maintenance schedule, and it falls under the special operating conditions. And it says use of E85 50% of the time or greater. You must change the engine oil and filter every 3,000 miles or 3 months. And that cuts your interval in half, because the regular interval is 5,000 miles or 6 months. And it also says in here, ethanol is more chemically active than gasoline. It corrodes some metals and causes some plastics and rubbers to swell, break down, or become brittle and crack, especially when mixed with gasoline. Special materials and procedures have been developed for flexible fuel vehicles and the dispensers used by ethanol fuel providers. Warning: flexible fuel components and standard unleaded gasoline fuel components are not interchangeable. If your vehicle is not serviced in accordance with FFV procedures, damage may occur. And it says it is best not to alternate repeatedly between gasoline and E85. If you do switch fuels, it is recommended that you add as much fuel as possible, at least half a tank. Do not add less than 5 gallons when refueling. You should drive the vehicle immediately after refueling for 5 miles to allow the vehicle to adapt to the change in ethanol concentration. So I wanted to know more about this E85 fuel, so I went to the U.S. Department of Energy, and this is their definition. Flexible fuel vehicles have an internal combustion engine that are capable of operating on gasoline and any blend of gasoline and ethanol up to 83%. E85 or flex fuel is a gasoline ethanol blend containing 51% to 83% ethanol depending on geography and season. So how do you know if you have an E85 compliant vehicle? Well, I found this document here that was issued in '06, and they said to check the color of your fuel cap. Your fuel door will have a label, and then you may have a badge. But given how this came out almost 2 decades ago, fuel caps change, stickers become illegible, and you may be missing the badge. So really the only way to look it up is to check your VIN number through a VIN decoder. And that's just what I've done here. This is my '04 Crown Victoria, and it says primary fuel type gasoline. And I ran my 2010 Mercury Grand Marquis, and it says primary fuel type flexible fuel vehicle. And this poll says aftermarket fuel additives in my Panther car. And 31% said I always use them, 43% said I never use them, 27% said it's complicated. And this is another poll. What fuel additive do you prefer in your Panther car? 71% said Lucas Fuel Treatment, 24% said Marvel Mystery Oil, and 6 people said TCW3. And starting in 1998, Ford's recommendation is it should not be necessary to add any aftermarket products to your fuel tank if you continue to use high quality fuel. And in 2007, they updated their recommendation with some stronger language. It says, do not add aftermarket fuel additive products to your fuel tank. It should not be necessary to add any aftermarket products to your fuel tank if you continue to use high quality fuel of the recommended octane rating. These products have not been approved for your engine and could cause damage to the fuel system. Okay, that's pretty much it. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time. Bye-bye.